We're now going to be filling missing values with the interpolate method. So this is a more complex way of filling in missing values, and it uses different statistical methods. So let's go ahead and look at the weight series, and we'll call the interpolate method. And if we press Shift Tab Tab, the way you use it is by passing in the method. By default is set to linear. Let's go down here, and you can see for method, there's all these different possibilities. And so there's so many different ones. You pass in a string. The most basic one is linear. So the way linear works is that it does a linear interpolation, which means it draws a line between the 2 points. So at 205 and at 201, these are separated by 3, values 1, 2, 3, and it'll draw a line between. Then it'll calculate the slope, and it'll fill in that. So it'll just hop each missing value down an equal amount. Let's go ahead and do this, and just go ahead and put in the string linear. So it goes from 205 now to 203 and 2/3, then 202 and 1/3, and finally to 201. So this is a linear interpolation between 205 and 201. And then it does another linear interpolation between 201 and 199. So that's a difference of 2, and there's 4 days, you could say here, for weight loss. So that's actually exactly half a pound per day. And we can see here it does go down half a pound until it reaches over here. And for some reason, Pandas fills in the last value with the same value as above. That just seems a little odd to me while I do that. But you can use the limit area parameter down here and set it equal to inside. And that will not do linear interpolation outside of the area of known values. So that might be a little bit more just a better way of doing it. All right, now there are many other ways to interpolate, and you need to have SciPy installed to do this. So Pandas will rely on the SciPy library. If you click on this link, it'll take you over here to the interpolate module of SciPy, and you can see all the different ways to interpolate. You have to read through these different methods of interpolation to figure out how to use them. And so when you do this, you'll set the method. It'll tell you can set the method to any of those strings. These are all, it tells you where to find it. So inside of the interpolate module like that. And so you have to kind of read through the documentation and see what these actually do, and reference SciPy documentation to see the exact ways of doing it. I'm going to do something simple, use quadratic. This takes no other additional parameters. Some of the other ones you have to actually pass it in some more parameters. So you have to go over here and click on if you want to do something like this crow interpolation. It takes some different parameters that you have to pass into the pandas over here as a additional keyword argument like that. But quadratic doesn't need one. So it does a quadratic fit between those two values, 205, 201. Now it does use the index over here as to help the interpolation. So the index does matter. It does. So if the index was different values, it'll have a different interpolation. Linear is the only method that does not use the index, and it'll tell you that over here. It says ignores the index, and it just treats the values as equally apart. But the other ones actually use the index values, so you have to be careful about that. So that is quadratic interpolation. What I've done here is I've graphed different ways of interpolating. So the blue is just with a forward fill, right? So it's just going to be the same number as the previous. And then the orange is a linear interpolation, so it's a straight line. And then green is quadratic, so it's going to be a little bit of a curve over here between the values. Okay, so you can try them out. You can actually use this and try out different ones like cubic or one of the more complex interpolations to see how they compare. All right, so that is how you use the interpolate method.